going on, guys? And welcome back to another Elestrals Moonrise reveal reaction video. Today, we have a bit of an interesting one, it seems. 4 new runes are taking over Moonrise. So we're getting some actual runes rather than Elestrals this time around. Artemis is going to be in here. We already know what Artemis does. Divine Healing. This is a card we have not seen. And more, so we're going to get in and see what these cards are.
We've got a ton of new epic Moonrise reveals and some information about Shattered Stars Scorpio. Our next month of Shattered Stars that is going to blow your mind. Get yourselves ready as we count down every single day until Moonrise pre-orders open on November 15th. Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Big shout outs to everybody who's been supporting our Kickstarter so far for Elestrals Clash. Don't forget, Kickstarter backers get...
We just hit $350,000, which is really cool because there was a thing, I don't know what it is. There seems to be like maybe some sort of event where it's like you have to prove your worth as Zeus or something. I'm not entirely certain, but that just got unlocked. So
get these reveals one day early. But without further ado, let's dive into the reveals. For those who haven't been involved in Shattered Stars, it's an incredible program where we send you 3 packs delivered to your door every single month for just $15. And those packs change every month with incredible collectible alt art rares that are sure to be dazzling in your collection. And our next series of Shattered Stars does track down the constellations and zodiacs with Scorpio. But right now we have Celebration going on and you still have time to grab that, including a ton of reverse stellars, 4 reverse stellars. The pull rates have never been better. We've got Stellar Wasp Ivy, Stellar Flammoth, Stellar Imperial, and Stellar Majesty, and a ton of awesome cards to collect like Stained Glass Posthumous and Gloombat. So do not miss out on Celebration month. But let's shift gears over to Scorpio. I already showed y'all how crazy and amazing that brand new constellation art is, and there are going to be a couple other incredible arts in this pack that you are not going to want to miss out on. The first new common card coming to Shattered Stars on November 1st is Galvenom. Galvenom actually getting a reprint for the first time, if I'm not mistaken, since its introduction in the starter deck. So this
Galvenom needs a reprint, like so badly. Galvenom, it's not a good card, but the fact that it's only in the Zeus starter deck, or in the Thunder Imperial starter deck, that's the one, is kind of crazy.
It's a really nice timed one. 6 attack, 2 defense. I think this card is actually wicked, man. You can expend 3 Thunder to target and destroy up to 2 cards, and it's an awesome art style by Daniel Reyes.
Sadly.
And our next comment, of course, is none other than Larvacell. Larvacell getting the Dan Suga Mosby treatment here in Shattered Stars. I absolutely love Larvacell, and I know y'all love the Suga Mosby arts, so I hope you guys pick this up in Shattered Stars Scorpio. Of course, I'll have more details about this over the coming days and weeks, so stay tuned as we close out of October and head towards our next chapter of Shattered Stars. All right, let's shift gears back to Moonrise, because I know you guys are excited about that. First things first is our Artemis card. You guys already know about Artemis through the Statue Divine that came out in Shattered Stars, but this is going to be Artemis regular art. You can pull this as a holo rare in your booster boxes, and it is in the starter decks as well. Is a 1-cost Lunar Divine. When you cast it, you can enchant it with up to 3 more Lunar Spirits. You can disenchant a Lunar from this Artemis to target an opponent's face-up card and suppress it until the opponent's next end phase. So not only can you suppress Elestrals, which is essentially turning off their effects as long as they're not on the chain already, but you can also suppress cards like Divines, Stadium.
Okay, I'm dumb. So I misread the card. I misremembered the card. It was either, I think it was in the Posthumous video I talked about it. Artemis, I was thinking it can only suppress Elestrals. No, it can suppress anything. So that's actually really cool. Okay, so there's that.
Artifacts, you can shut off their effects and completely disrupt their strategy.
Because in that Posthumous video, I was saying that Posthumous can only destroy Elestrals. It can't destroy back row. It can destroy back row. It's just the back row has to be face up. So it can't target like Invoke or Counter Runes because those immediately go to the Underworld the moment they're activated. But it can target artifacts. It can target stadiums, and most importantly, it can target divines. So I didn't realize that.
The power of Artemis. Artemis does have a signature artifact coming in Moonrise, and that is the Bow of Artemis. This is a 1-cost lunar artifact that says the empowered Elestral deals piercing damage. Piercing is the damage that takes place when an attack position Elestral attacks into a defense position Elestral. Typically, no damage is dealt there, but if you have a 3-spirit enchanted Elestral attacking a 1-spirit enchanted defense position Elestral, and they're empowered by the Bow of Artemis, they would take 2 spirits of damage because you would essentially calculate the damage while they're in defense position. When the empowered Elestral declares an attack, you can Nexus a Lunar Spirit from your Artemis to the empowered Elestral. So you can actually make your Elestral even stronger to ensure that you're dealing that damage. You have the piercing damage.
Okay, so this card's interesting. I think this is a good artifact rune. The fact that it does allow you to deal piercing damage is actually really good, and the fact that you can then Nexus from your Artemis onto it to just basically get the piercing is very powerful. I struggle to think that this is going to be super amazing, though. I see potential. I don't think it's the best thing you can be doing, though. I do feel like there are better things you can be doing. Maybe I'm wrong. I've constantly been proven wrong. This has potential to be a really good artifact to just get in for a boatload of damage. It's also really powerful because you can compare it with Argo. You cannot compare it. You can pair it with Argo. And Argo can then, on attack declaration, enchant the bow to the attacking Elestral. And then the bow not only will allow it to do piercing damage, you can then go bow effect Nexus 1 from the Artemis onto it to get the additional effect. So I think Argo might be very, very good if you pair it with this card. Again, I don't think that's super amazing. That is very, very expensive. But you're spending 3 spirits to potentially hit your opponent for 1, 2... a lot of damage. So I think that's actually really, really cool and interesting. I don't think it's the best thing you can be doing, so I don't think it will see that much play, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
Nexus, and there's a few particular cards in Moonrise that really appreciate receiving lunar spirits and receiving nexuses, so get excited for Bow of Artemis. Now, it may come as no surprise to anybody, but we have a brand new stadium, and that is Temple of the Moon.
Yeah,
this is probably my favorite stadium art that we've done. It is absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous. Jack and Art did not miss on this one. And much like our other stadiums, it's a 1-cost lunar. It buffs up the lunar Elestrals that are enchanted with lunar by +1/+1, so they get a nice little buff depending on how many spirits they have on them. Pretty standard stuff in terms of what we've done across the board for our stadiums, but we did round out the 8 different stadiums for each element, and Temple of the Moon might just be the best art yet. I've been pretty open about the fact that Omni runes or runes that can use any element type are going to be reduced in future sets, and you'll start to see that as more sets come out. I kind of create more element-specific runes, but we do have an Omni rune coming here in Moonrise, and that is Divine Healing, and this card has some really interesting implications. It's a 1-cost rune that allows you to enchant up to 3 spirits from your underworld to a Divine rune on your field. This is basically Ambrosia 2, but you have to do it for your Divine runes, which is very, very interesting, especially considering that it's not element specific. So you can use this to enchant different elemental spirits to your Divine rune, and then you...
So... I don't know. I think the idea here is to give more power to decks that are playing Divine Runes, because one of the biggest issues with Divine Runes currently is that they are very susceptible to removal, to the point where if you say... The reason why Lavalith was so powerful and the reason it got eliminated is because it was gatekeeping a lot of Divine Rune decks out of the format. How was it doing this? Well, if you go, say, Zeus, enchant it with like 3 or something, you can just normal cast Lavalith, target the Zeus, and destroy it, and you're basically burning your opponent for 3 because they had to enchant their Zeus with 3, so then you're just basically getting rid of those spirits off the board. Divine Healing seems like a way to try to recuperate some of that loss, similar to Ambrosia. I don't know how good this is, though, in comparison to Ambrosia. That's what I'm trying to really think of. I don't think it's the best thing ever. It is the thing about this that's interesting, though. It can only be used by decks that are playing Divine Runes. So therefore, for example, 5s can't run it. Some other like Omni decks. There are some like decks out there right now, like Snowmen, the Moralith deck. They're not playing it. They're not playing Kione, stuff like that. But those decks that do use your Divine Runes, this can be very good. And it also just allows you to get additional spirits onto your board, so you get additional Nexus potential. I like it. I don't know how good it is. I'm struggling to think how good this could be, but I think it can be very, very powerful.
You can utilize cards like Invoke and Counter Runes to use those spirits and essentially siphon them off the field. It's a little bit more situational and not quite as ubiquitous as an Ambrosia would be, but there's a lot of really cool things you can do with Divine Healing, and I certainly expect this card to make an impact in Moonrise. Don't forget to check out our incredible Elestrals Clash Kickstarter going on right.
Yep, so that seems to be basically all we got. Not too much, if I'm being entirely honest, in terms of new cards. We got Divine Healing and Bow of Artemis. Those are the only new cards that we got. But there was Artemis, and we obviously got the Shattered Stars stuff. I'm a little confused though. 4 runes? Didn't you already talk about 3? Artemis, the Bow of Artemis. Oh, Temple of the Moon. Okay. Temple of the Moon and then Divine Healing. So only 2 actual new cards that we'd never seen before. Well, Bow of Artemis we knew. This was in the Clash trailer. We knew it was there. We didn't know what it did though. So we now have the effect. I think Bow of Artemis is the most interesting of them all. Divine Healing is weird. Again, I'm still not entirely certain on this. I feel like it can be good. I don't know exactly if it is. It's difficult to say. It really is difficult to say. I'm not entirely certain. But I do think it probably is pretty decent. So the issue with Elestrals right now, deck space is incredibly tight. I don't know if you're really going to be able to fit Divine Healing with 3 Ambrosia in your deck. That's a lot of deck space. So that's like the only thing that's kind of hurting this card. But there is some stuff. By the way, I do want to mention, yesterday there was a card that I wanted to talk about that had been teased through the creator boxes. Hadn't been revealed in any of these videos, and I want to talk about it. I'm actually not going to talk about it now, because I remember what that card is. I didn't talk about it yesterday because I forgot what the card was. Now I remember what that card is, but I'm still not going to talk about it, because I actually want to save it for the video that it gets released in. There's a card, a new rune, that I think is very interesting, but I've heard a lot of people say that it's bad. I don't think it's bad. Once it gets revealed, we'll talk about that. But guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure you slap the like button and subscribe for more. Hope to see all you guys in the next video. Goodbye.